Hello, this is Mark with the WNC Broadband Project. Just wanted to share with you an update in regards to the Digital Equity Act programs overview, straight from the internetforall.gov website. We know today that many Americans do lack affordable, reliable, high speed internet access, and we're moving into a direction with the Digital Equity Act, which includes 2.75 billion dollars to drive digital inclusion and equity moving forward in the United States. The digital equity program details includes three federal programs, grant programs. The first of which has a window coming up right now, being the state planning program for $60 million, a state capacity program with a total of 1.44 billion formula, the state competitive program, a 1.25 billion competitive grant program. All of these are intended for examples of use of the funds to number one, develop, implement, and oversee digital equity plans. Second, to make awards to other entities to help in developing digital equity plans. Third is to improve the online accessibility and inclusivity of public resources. Fourth, to implement digital equity plans and digital inclusion activities. Fifth, provide digital literacy and skills education to covered populations. And then finally, to facilitate the adoption of high speed internet across the covered populations. So earlier this year, on May 13th, there was a notice of funding opportunity to start planning for these grants, the first of which is due July 12th. Um, and it will involve a window of a 1 year state planning process. We're going to go into the state of North Carolina in just a moment in the digital equity population viewer to get some details. But you start to see the next portion being the state capacity program window. That window for the state capacity is around the 2024 year, and we'll have a 5 year capacity implementation window. The final grant, competitive grant program application will be for a 4 year competitive implementation, 2025 to 2026 plus. So, how is the state of and the federal government figuring out some of this digital equity funding? If we go to a specific website called the Digital Equity Act Population Viewer, it provides some state specific details. And I'm going to zoom into the state of North Carolina for this. And in the state of North Carolina, um, the calculations for the Digital Equity Act of 2021 was established through the IIJA, or the Infrastructure Investments and Jobs Act. The State Digital Equity Planning Grant Program is the first of three Digital Equity Act programs that will be administered through the NTIA, the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. And it's based off of some data that we're going to see in this particular map. So, this first map, the covered population referencing the state of North Carolina, shows the percentage of population that falls into at least one of the 8 covered population categories. So, when you hover over the state of North Carolina, you start to see the 8 categories being in households with incomes below 150% of the poverty level, age 60 or above, are incarcerated, veteran, with a disability, with a language barrier, racial or ethnic minority, and then a rural element Again, this is for the state of North Carolina. When we go to the tab that's called Population Lacking Fixed Broadband, we see some more data. This data is the same that we saw in the earlier graph, but it is talking about the percentage of the population living in places where fixed broadband delivering advertised speed of at least 25 megabits per second download and 3 megabits upload is not available. So you can see North Carolina falls into the 2.5% to 4.9% based off of these categories. The population lacking computer or broadband is referencing that those living in a household that lack computing device and or broadband subscription by state. And North Carolina falls into the 10 to 12.4% relative to our other states. Population not using the internet is talking about as being defined by the 2021 NTIA Internet Use Survey. And here we can see the percentage is 20 to 24.9% of the civilian population 3 years and older who do not use the internet in North Carolina. And then finally, the population not using a device. This is the civilian population 3 years and older who do not use a desktop, laptop, or tablet. And here we fall into a 35 to 39%. So I hope this overview update of digital equity and where we stand helps you. The best little timeline is this timeline at the bottom of this particular Adobe PDF, which I will share in the description of the YouTube link. Hope this helps. Thank you.